All right, today we are making my favorite pasta sauce, Bolognese. So here's what you're going to need real quick. Your mirepoix, your meat, tomatoes, garlic, stock, and milk. Very simple to make your mirepoix, which is celery, carrot, and onion. Just dice it up into little pieces. You're going to put this into a food processor, so it doesn't need to be chopped up super thin, but you just want it nice enough that your processor could break it down, which is the issue that I always have, and will have again. But just chop everything up, rough pieces. I like a little more onion in my mirepoix than anything else, but you could find the ratio that you like the best. Fill it up, chop it up into fairly small pieces. If you have larger onion pieces, that's fine. They'll break down into the sauce nicely, but everything else you want fairly chopped up. I cook mine in a cast iron skillet. I just like it that way. Some people don't like to do acidic things in cast iron, but I love it. And I'm going to put in about 1/3 of the surface area's worth of this pan with my mirepoix. As you can see, the onion pieces are fairly large somewhat. They're most broken down, but everything else is nice and chopped up. Heat that, cook it down for 2 to 3 minutes just to start to get it warm, suck some of the moisture out. Don't need to brown it or anything. You're just trying to really get it nice. So coat it on the bottom of the pan. Let it heat for a couple of minutes. Make sure heat at this point is about medium. Then, after 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to put in 2 cloves of garlic. Mix that all up, cook that for another 2 or 3 minutes. Garlic will get nice and fragrant, and that's exactly what you're looking for. Then you could start to work on really building this sauce up. This is the meat that I like to use. It's technically a meatloaf mixture, but it's pork, veal, and ground beef. I think it's just really nice in the sauce to have the blend of the three, so I like to break it up into kind of equal parts, and then cook that. Always wash your hands after you touch meat, very important. I like to flatten that also, get the most amount of surface area. And you're going to cook this about 90% total. Salt it up nicely. Salt everything nicely at this point. Also add a little pepper. Any other seasoning you like. If you want to add a little bit Italian seasoning, that's fine. Make sure your heat is a little higher now because you added cold meat. But continue to mix that meat up until it's around 90% cooked. Right around there is not a bad point, and then start to mix everything together. Make it one homogeneous unit so you could start to really build from this point. See, now you have everything nice and mixed together. You could tell it's a good amount. We're going to add in about 2 tablespoons worth of tomato paste, which builds the base layer of the sauce. You could add a little more if it's not spreading as much, but you want it to look like this, fairly different in color now, a little bit red. And then we're going to add crushed tomatoes. You could use whatever brand you like, but this is about a 8 to 12 ounce package. Feel it out as you're making it. You got to know what size your unit or your vessel is that you're cooking. You want to have it not super tomatoey, but you want to see the tomatoes mixed in throughout. With the tomato paste and this, you're going to get some beautiful flavors after cooking for a while. Raise that heat a little bit, and then we're going to add stock to bring it up to the brim. It wound up being around 1.5 cups, 2 cups of stock, and then just mix that together, and we're going to cook this for between 45 minutes and an hour. You're really going to cook down all of the liquid. Right about there is where you like to see it. Try to hold it right about that simmer, and every 5-10 minutes, just mix it all together. You know, some of the fat will rise to the surface, but just keep it moving, and about an hour, you'll see great results. That there is right about the hour point. You can see there's not really loose liquid in it anymore. It's cooked down beautifully, and all that flavor is intensified. At this point, I add 1 cup of whole milk. If you want to use low-fat milk, totally fine. Mix that all up, and then we're going to let that cook for another 40 minutes or so. You're really cooking things down and intensifying the flavors. I know milk and cream isn't natural in Italian cooking. Don't heat it. I think it just makes it taste much better, but you could omit it if you would like. Reseason it at this point. Keep tasting and testing for seasoning throughout. And then I'm going to start to cook the pasta. At this point, this is about 40 minutes into the 45 minutes that I wanted that cooking. I like a nice rigatoni, something that your meat sauce can get into the pasta rather than just coat it. And we're going to cook that to al dente, maybe even 1 minute short, because you're going to cook the last little bit in the pan. And once I put that pasta in, I like to add at most 1/4 cup of cream, maybe even less, just to give it a last little oomph. We're going to raise the heat at that point, just start to cook that cream out, and it's going to really make this sauce that extra level of delicious. See, look at how beautiful that looks. So good. Keep tasting, checking for seasoning. You'll know if it's good. It needed a little more salt at this point. But look at how beautiful that looks. At this point, also save yourself pasta water. I like to just dip it right in and drain it off the top. It's much easier than trying to collect it when you're straining it. Pasta was ready at this point, so pour it out, and now I like to mix it all into the vessel. So I add my bolognese in, and I mix it, and I will use the pasta water to turn it into a creamy sauce. I almost use the bolognese that I made as a, thickened agent that I like to, as I make the pasta, reduce a little bit or make a little less thick with the water. It's still, you could just, some people will put that right on top of their pasta and it's fine, but when I add the water there, it's going to really intensify the creaminess and the coating that it has over the noodles. And just do this for about 2 to 3 minutes until it's beautiful. You don't need to add butter or anything at this stage. Everything is ready to go. And just keep adding it until you find the coating that you like and the meat level that you want in your sauce. Very easy, very, very delicious. Needed a little bit more water at this point, but you could tell it's exactly what you want to see. The noodles are coated. There's no extra water sitting on the bottom, so it's emulsified beautifully. And I'm just going to add a little more of the bolognese mix in, and we're good to go. Let's plate this up and see how it looks. Just scoop it out onto a nice bowl or plate. This is kind of like a plate bowl, I really like these for pastas that are saucy and nice. Look at how beautiful that looks. See, the sauce is clinging to it. It's not loose. It's not runny. I like to end it with topping a little more of the meat sauce on top. And then obviously you want to throw on some good cheese. I like pecorino romano, but use whatever you want. And look at how good that looks. If you got served that in a restaurant, you would be blown away with it. You would love it. Clean up your plate a little bit, a little bit of some plating effort here. I thought it looked so nice, so why not take that extra step? But damn, look at that. That is as good as you can get, and it's not a ton of work, it's just time consuming, and I know some people hate that, but this is worth it. Make this, you could save the sauce. Trust me, you'll love it.